uh, the biggest as I started preparing to write Content Inc. for the 2015 version,
Hmm.
I started to do a lot of research on, as you say, VC companies, the way most businesses are launched, and 99.9% of businesses out there launch with some kind of product, right? Hey, this is what we sell. This is what we do. And at the same time, if you look at all the research on the success rate of those businesses, it's very low. And most of those companies fail, inside 3 years, 5 years for the most part. Well, way more than 50% of those businesses fail. So I'm thinking, okay, great. We've got this idea of how to launch a business. We launch with product first, but yet most of these businesses fail. Doesn't make any sense to me. Is there a better way? And then as we sort of started to research more of companies like what we were doing at Content Marketing Institute, which came out and said, look, what if you built an audience first? You built a loyal audience around a particular niche that the audience was involved in, that they were passionate about, or they needed more knowledge in, whatever the case is, and said, what if you built that audience? And then once you build a loyal audience, listen enough, your audience will tell you what ultimately you need to sell, kind of like they did for Content Marketing Institute. I never had plans on doing an event. There was nothing on the landscape to do any kind of an event, but enough of our subscribers said, Joe, is there any event out there that we could go to for enterprise marketers and content
Really?
marketing?
It happened this way?
This is exactly how it happened. I was not planning it. And we looked at enough feedback, and that's exact when we got the feedback on, hey, is there an event and we need corporate training and those types of things. That's when we launched um, Chief Content Officer Magazine. That was for chief, particularly
Yeah.
for CMOs, to
Hmm.
target them so that they would start to get training in their organization. And then Content Marketing World was launched at the same time, just about. So yeah, we thought this was a thing. Went out and interviewed all these audience first companies that were launching, that took 2-3 years to really get started, but in 5 to 7 years became multi-million-dollar organizations. I said, man, this is the model. Now it takes time,
Oh, yeah.
no doubt about it. It takes time and patience, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot about that.
I had
But
one good question. Yeah.
there's actually a lot less money you have to put up, and there's actually, I think, less risk overall, because once you build a loyal audience through a wonderful email, through an amazing YouTube channel, through an Instagram feed, through a podcast series, through an event series, through a magazine, whatever it might be, but you build that loyal audience, you can monetize that audience in 8, 9, 10 different ways. And that's what we did with the Content Marketing Institute. That's what Brian Clark did at Copy Blogger. That's what
So
Marcus
many
Sheridan did at
others.
River Pools and Spas. We talk about, there's 100 case studies in the new book, Content Inc., that we talk about this. And I really do believe that this is the best model out there for any business, especially a individual that doesn't have a lot of resources, that doesn't get VC backing, that can't go out and get $500,000 to start their business. They could say, there's a different way to do it. And then you see all these content creators today that are dabbling around, and we're like, no, there's an actual business model for this thing.